Okay, guys, so I'm walking around the house here, lighting up the house for the day so I can get started on things I need to do. Fatigues. And it's been a crazy week. I think a few of you have noticed that I have not posted as much this past week as I usually do. It's just my time has just kind of been taken away from me by a billion other things. I've been having these really bad headaches recently. Like every morning when I wake up, I've had to take 4 Excedrin, go back to bed for another hour or two. I haven't had really bad headaches for a long time, but they've been hitting me again this week because after I did my weigh-in at the beginning of the week, I basically took a couple days off to eat some normal food off of the low-carb diet because my girlfriend's family came into town. They're only here like once a year. And so we went out to a buffet and, just a few things like that. Then I've been really digging into eBay recently. I've got to get some things caught up. And what I want to share with you on this video is the craziest thing that ever happened to me on eBay. Now, scammers are rampant on eBay. If any of you have ever sold on eBay, you've probably had to deal with a scammer at some point or another. Yesterday was the craziest scammer I've ever had to deal with. I won the case, so I came out on top. But I wanted to share this video with you that I actually made for another channel that I run that is strictly about buying and reselling. But I thought I would share it with you guys because you really do have to watch out for these scammers. They're, like I said, they're just rampant on eBay, and you can really get ripped off if you let people take advantage of you. So here's the video I made yesterday. Watch this and see how crazy this is. And I will see you guys a little bit later today with another video. And I've got like 3 or 4 other videos that I have started, and I'm working on a piece at a time because they're a little bit more complicated than just talking and stuff. And then I'll be getting another skater diet out pretty soon here, and hopefully I can get back to making my skater diet videos every day. So, talk to you later. Watch this video. Peace out. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about the craziest thing I have ever had to deal with on eBay, and it just happened to me today. Last week I sold a Halloween inflatable. It was a 7-foot Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th inflatable. You plug it in, it blows up 7 feet tall, sits in your front yard over Halloween. The guy bought it. I think he paid $60 plus shipping, like $15. And first he didn't pay at all. I had to open an unpaid item case on him. He eventually did pay. I shipped it out. Today I get a return request for that inflatable. I open it up and the guy claims that he got it, he plugged it in outside, he went inside to get his son so he could come out and see it. When he came out, the thing was on fire, it was burning his deck, and it was so bad that it's a good thing he was home or else he would have lost his whole entire house to this fire. So the first thing I'm thinking is, if this were at all true, this guy would be absolutely livid. The last thing on his mind would be worrying about returning what's left of it to get the money back. So, I called eBay. I've done this enough times to know that you don't just jump right back at it and respond to the people. First, you let it sink in, you think about it, you review the entire transaction and everything, and then you call eBay. You talk to them, run everything by them, and you kind of see where you stand with this, if the guy really has a right to return it, and, just where you stand with it. So I ran it by one guy, and I don't remember why, but he wanted to transfer me to somebody, I guess in returns or something, so somebody who knew more about it. I got the other guy on the phone, and he agreed with me that I needed to ask the buyer for pictures, like picture proof. And I was kind of mad anyway because the way that they were talking was just like they usually do, where they're basically letting you know that you're pretty much screwed. You're going to have to give a refund no matter what. So, but like I said, I've done this enough times that I know that you kind of have to let the buyer or the person complaining, you have to let them hang themselves. So, And I'm not talking about getting out of something that is a legitimate complaint. I'm talking about if somebody's making up something, and you know they are, you know it's not a legitimate return, they're just trying to scam you. You kind of just get them talking, you ask them questions, and you converse with them a little bit, enough to let them get enough rope to hang themselves. That's how you win these cases. It was not a case yet, though, I'll reiterate that. So I sent the guy a message, and I said, the first thing I'm going to need to do is have you send me pictures. I need proof that this happened. I need to see a picture of the remains of the item, the outlet that got damaged when this happened, because I'm assuming he was, stating that it was like an electrical fire. I don't know what else it would have been. And I told him I also need to see the damage to the deck. Probably about 3 hours later, he sent me pictures. Now, usually at this point, they're either going to send you pictures or they're totally going to disappear because you called their bluff. He sent me pictures 2 to 3 hours later. And I'm like, okay, first of all, the first picture he sent me was this green extension cord with a black plug plugged into it, and they were both kind of burned. Neither one of them was the actual plug from the inflatable. The plug in the inflatable was a big black box. The second picture he sent me was supposedly the damage to the deck. It looks more like concrete. And the third picture he sent me was... what was it? Oh, it was supposedly the burned inflatable laying on the ground. I'm out on the road, so all I could see was the little pictures on my cell phone. So I get home and I start looking at these things, and one thing I notice is that the titles are really strange. On the one that was supposedly the deck, I noticed that the title was... Wait, let me say this first. The first thing I thought when I saw those pictures was about that burned extension cord, the green part, because I thought, okay, that right there might be enough to get me off the hook, because he's using an extension cord. Plus, the black plug that's plugged into it means he's using 2 extension cords. And, being that it was not the actual plug from the inflatable. So I actually took pictures of the plug from the inflatable, and all the instructions on it and everything, because one part of it says if you're going to plug it into other things, here's what you need to do. Back to where I was at. When I was looking at the pictures he sent me through the messages, he sent them through the request, but he also sent them through the messages. Through the pictures that he sent through the messages, there were titles on them, and the one that caught my eye was the one that was supposed to be the deck, and it was titled New Mexico Penitentiary, Burned Floor. And I'm like, what in the world is that? So I Googled it, and sure enough, he pulled that picture off of a Wikipedia page for a riot that happened in a New Mexico penitentiary, and that section of floor was supposedly where an inmate was burned to death. So not only was it not a deck, but it had nothing to do with him whatsoever. He stole it off the internet to use it. So prompted by that, I looked up the other pictures. I looked up the extension cord, and it was something like burned-extension-cord. So I typed that in exactly, and sure enough, here comes the burned extension cord, and it was from somebody else's page. And the third one I looked up was what was supposedly the burned inflatable. And that ended up being from somebody's web page from like 2000 or 2002, where apparently there was a fire, their dryer caught on fire or something, and the firemen came in and some clothes got burned, and those were the clothes that got burned during that fire. So I found those 3. Then when I looked back at the actual request, he had sent a 4th picture, which was a gray dryer plug. I mean, the 3-pronged kind that goes, like an industrial plug that goes into the wall. They have to put in a separate receptacle for it. So I don't know what's wrong with this guy's head that he thought he was going to get away with that. But I called eBay back, And I told them the whole story. I gave them, the guy wanted all the web addresses where he could find the things, so I took him to Google and I walked him through everything and showed him all the pictures where he took them off the internet. And I ended up winning the case. They ended up escalating it to a case and closing it out in my favor. And they told me they're going to boot this guy off. Now this guy's name is right here because I can't remember it right offhand, so I'll insert it here on the page. But I encourage you all to go block him, even though eBay told me that they were going to kick him off, because you never know if they actually will do that or not. The point here is, do your research. If somebody opens a case on you or wants to return something and you know it's not legit, take a breath. Don't jump right back at them. Review everything that has to do with the sale and the transaction and the case if there's a case open. Always ask for picture proof. And, if they claim something was damaged in the mail, ask for pictures of the damaged item and the damaged box that it was delivered in. Just do your research, and you can get these cases closed in your favor. Now, I was really scared they were still going to close it in his favor just because you know how eBay is. They want to please the buyer, so the buyer will come back and buy more stuff. But it doesn't do any good to please a buyer who's putting their money out and then taking it right back. That's the craziest thing I've ever had to deal with on eBay. It just blew my mind. I mean, honestly, I was so mad when the guy opened the case. I was ready to leave eBay. I was so mad. It was crazy because I thought for sure eBay was going to take his side. I knew it was a lie from the beginning. When I first had to open the case against the guy to get him to pay, I knew it was trouble, and this is what it turned into. In the end, it worked out, though. So, alright guys, I'm going to let you go. Been a crazy day. I hope you never have to go through anything like that, but like I said, if you get any cases open against you or return requests, just take a deep breath, take it slow, do some research, and hopefully you'll get out of it too. Peace.